Today is August 4th, 2018. Get ready for the Emerging Sea broadcast system, the Forbidden History series. What they didn't want you to know, but we tell right here. Time to call your friends. We now interrupt your normally scheduled programming to bring you this very important deprogramming program. And special thanks to YouTube.com for hosting the Forbidden History series. Please note that the following views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily the views nor the opinions of the Master Force Group, YouTube.com, Free America Radio Network, our sponsors, our partners, and MFG is a private society, and nothing here is ever to be construed as hate, medical, nor legal advice. And listen to the Forbidden History prime time 7 days a week right here on the realpublicradio.net, because hidden beneath the sands of time lies the greatest of all mysteries. It's the Forbidden History. Unearth for yourself the secret truths that lie hidden just beneath the surface below our feet. What is it that the powers that be do not want you or I to know? Come and journey with us as we explore and dare to know, because it's all right here, coming your way twice a day, 9 a.m. Eastern Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Time on the realpublicradio.net, 7 days a week. What they didn't want you to know, but we tell right here. You did tell your friends? Well, thanks for doing that. Stand by for the broadcast. Coming to you live from Studio Z at the Lighthouse in Central Ohio, in the heart of Amish country, and Free America Radio Network in the land of dreams, enchantments, and nightmares. It's the Forbidden History series. The words that kill, the great lies of history, symbolism, and tonight a special also on the movies, a movie review, ABCs of Light. There's so much, ladies and gentlemen. Where do you want to go? It's all right here. We are the deprogramming program. Hello, Ninja. It's all the battle for your mind. They wanted to rob you, but I think you're beginning to see the light of that truth, because ignorance is the utter darkness. And they say ignorance is bliss, so I guess they're really happy to be ignorant, but I know you're here for a reason, because these two are at battle, each against the other. And which one will win, ladies and gentlemen? Which one will win? The one that you feed is the one that will win. And thanks for the audio check, Lynn. And once we can begin to comprehend the true nature of things, then we can begin to comprehend that there is nothing more to complain about. What we have to do is come to terms and just deal with the hand that has been given us, ladies and gentlemen, and make lemonade out of lemons. You know what I mean? Yeah. We can do it. But if you don't know where you're going, then any road will get you there, and I guess that goes along with that bliss again. Huh. You know, if a lie is repeated long enough, it becomes the truth, and that is the truth right there. Okay, because it's easier to lie to people than it is to convince them that they've been lied to. And I feel so sorry for those who don't have a gumption to try to open a book or try to figure something out, and are just so happy with their world. But you know, the truth is, we're not of this world. We are not of this world, ladies and gentlemen. We are eternal beings. And welcome to the broadcast. I am your host, Desert Owl, a bird who sees in the night, and a student of the end of the world. Yeah, it's a interesting study, the end of the world. But you know, the most important thing to know is that you are not from this world, ladies and gentlemen. You are not of this world. You are not from this world. You simply crash landed here as a spirit to wake up to the true nature of self, the true nature of things, and the profound cosmic order of things. Okay, and so I hope you're expanding your horizon and continuing to grow on your journey. There are dark forces that want to deny us, access to our history, who we are, where we are, when we are, and why we are. So it's a rough go, ladies and gentlemen, but we're all in this together. And one of the great lies of history, just for a recap, because I saw this card and I don't remember if I brought it up, but the fact that our scriptures, like the King James Version in particular, was given to us by 50 translators, give or take, through out there in England with the King James Version, when actually it was nothing other than the work of William Tyndale, 90% Tyndale, and but they give us these child tales. You see, it's the child's tale they gave us. Oh, there were 50 translators, and they were the best scholars, and they worked overnight, and and they pulled this great translation together. When William Tyndale did it all by himself, one guy inspired by the great breath of the wind and fire, and then they just steal the copyright and then put their occultic little tricks in there, and what a lie it is, what a child's tale it is. Okay, Ninja, very good. And good morning. Yeah, it's morning over there for you, right? Okay. But so like the child's tales are like, Columbus discovered America. Betsy Ross made the American flag, and it's the Jesuit slavery flag. Alexander the Great was a great military strategist, conquered the world. Another child's tale. They feed us all of this papal bull, these child tales, and we're just eating it up. Yum yum, eat it up. And it's just not that. It's the greatest show on earth. How they come up with these. Well, they're good at it. They perfected disinformation, and in fact, we're going to be talking a little bit about mind control as well when I go into the Real Da Vinci Code etymological dictionary. We're going to cover movies, a little bit about the music, real quick, and then mind control as well. I used to listen to a great radio host that was a big inspiration for me when I was stuck in an 18-wheeler doing hard time as a slave driver. And one day I turned the dial and I found I found this talk show, and all of a sudden I was like, whoa, this guy was different. And I don't know if Lynn, we're contemporary here, maybe but have you did you ever hear of Chuck Harder and the For the People Radio Network? For the people, do. And he was the best. He used to work in New York, and then he got a hotel down there in White Springs, Florida, and he told it like it was, and he was a great researcher and knew how to provide information for people to help them, especially in the civil area or domestic domestic help, how to research troubleshooting things in life, that type of thing. So he was really good, but they ultimately took him down. They well, I don't know how they did it, but probably from a legal standpoint, and they shanghaied the hotel that he had there. He had the White Springs Hotel right on the Swanee River, and he was doing his broadcast right there from the restaurant. People come there to eat. It was beautiful, and and he had a network of radio stations all over America, and they were broadcasting his program during the day, and So yeah, they pulled the number on him, and they actually got the network right out from under him, and it was his life. It was the culmination of his life's career. He and his wife drove around the hotel in tears. Realizing what they had been stolen from them. So that's what they do to the people who tell the truth and that really love America, are trying to make a difference in our world. These evil these cultists. They're just they're working overtime. That's all they think about is how to manipulate mankind, how to manipulate our world and to wreak havoc in our lives. It's such a tragic world, ladies and gentlemen, and to be set free from it, to realize, just like these people. I was going to talk about the fires, up in up in Redding, California. It's interesting that was where Dane Wigington was going to have a special meeting. They were getting ready to have a major public forum, and had experts that had come out and were going to tell all about the shenanigans of geoengineering and all of this. And then, don't you know, all of a sudden, Redding, California is on fire right at the time they were going to go public, and they'd been announcing it for months. Uh, yeah, well, that's okay, but he was the best of all time. I'm telling you, Lynn. But so literally, I have no doubt in my mind that they engineered those fires up there in Redding just so that these experts couldn't get on record. From several different fields. I don't know. I think like one was military, one was of a geoengineering, a physicist or whatever. They were going to have the most profound that we had ever, had presentation on this issue. Yeah, our rewards are not, well, yeah, right. There's the great reward. That's what we're looking for. They can have it all. That's right. But that was the point I was trying to get to. That to be set free and to realize that these. Everything we have, when we leave this world, we leave it all behind. We don't take anything material. And so to be separated from it now mentally, I can't imagine what these families must feel. By the way, I had a house burned down. Okay. And when I was about 22 years old, 23 years old, living in Morongo Valley, California, above Palm Springs in the high desert. Um, and I had a frame house over there, and I had just cleaned out my pickup truck. I had a camper shell, and I had all of my construction tools, all my tools for building homes. I cleaned out my truck and put it all inside the house. I went down to Palm Springs. All I had is a t-shirt, and a pair of shorts, and my truck was cleaned out. All thousands of dollars of specialty tools for building houses. And I went down down to the low desert there, Palm Springs and Rancho Mirage. And when I came back that evening, my lights, it was already dark, and I pulled into my circle driveway, and my lights, instead of shining on the house, they shined right out into outer space. It was like, oh, where'd my house go? Wait a minute, what? And I got out of my truck, and I couldn't believe it. I saw nothing but a burned out rubble of what used to be my home, and there was nobody there to tell me what had happened. My everything I had was destroyed, everything, and I was remodeling this place. I was fixing it up. Come to find out, some kids were throwing firecrackers through my window and trying to scare my cat that was in the house, and because the desert is so dry, the sparks initiated a fire, and so one of the kids told about it, to another kid. You lost everything as well, Ninja, right? Yeah. So it was a tough go. I had to go to Salvation Army just to get a blanket and a couple things just to get me started again. And fortunately, I had a good landlord, and he gave me a place to stay, and and then I just regrouped. But I know what it feels like to lose everything that way. But for these families. I was single, okay, but for these families that have their little ones, and all their several cars, and the big house they've worked hard for, to realize they're left with nothing but the clothes on their back, and maybe a car if they're lucky, and so this is not our world, and so we get caught up in it. We get trapped by it. I saw a lady I know, that she was a slave to both of her $750,000 homes. Okay, she was a slave to them, couldn't be set free from them. Was already divorced and single, and losing both houses to the code. The code enforcers would never let her fix the house up right because code enforcers were playing political games, and so literally people have been enslaved to their homes and to their property. It's just amazing. So so with those fires, I just want to talk about it real quick because the one thing that keeps coming to my mind when I see all these fires going on, and we know that they're not by accident, but think of it. Had it ever crossed your mind, like, okay, where are all the military? We got military all over the world. They've got equipment. They've got tractors, bulldozers, water buffaloes. They got helicopters. They got everything you can imagine, right? It's the biggest machine on the planet. But how come these people that are getting paid a monthly paycheck, aren't on the front line fighting the fires? That's what I want to know. I already know the answer. They don't want them there because they want it all to burn down. They want Mr. and Mrs. America to go to hell. I mean, forgive the French, but that's basically what they want. The grave, the hell is the grave anyway. Okay, so it's not a swear word. They just want everybody to go down, and good riddance. They'll be so happy. That's just like the day they took down the Twin Towers. The Israeli Mossad were having a party. They had a special party. They even invited Dmitry Kazalov there, the former Soviet soldier who knew all about the the atomic takedown, nuclear takedown of the towers that most people still haven't figured out yet. So the fires are on, and I realized that they wanted a lot of these fires because they want the vegetation that is dying not to be so obvious, and so they literally I think are going to burn down most of the forests in America by the time they're all done with it, and then maybe they can also find somebody to blame it on too. They love to do that. So if you hadn't seen it today, everybody, that's going to listen into this recording, I want to make sure I repeat this a few times on the programs. But Dane Wigington, okay, geoengineeringwatch.org, and he's got a channel. They took down his geoengineering channel, so he's got one left called Dane Wigington, DaneWigington, Dane Wigington. Every Saturday, usually it's posted by 2 p.m. Eastern time. Today was about 3 p.m. Eastern time. Every Saturday they post it, a 1-hour broadcast. You need to listen to it. It's the most important broadcast, ladies and gentlemen, every Saturday, because he spells it out better than anyone, especially about the heat, the heat wave that's going on. And Martha, good to have you. And yeah, Dane Wigington, ladies and gentlemen, he's on the tip of the needle, the front line. You can be sure they'd love to kill this guy, and they're trying to figure out probably how to do it. I think the only thing that's keeping him alive is probably they also inside deeply respect him. They have to. He's such a great guy. I know these psychopaths every now and then they actually wish they were good guys. They probably must hate being scumbags so bad. They hate to look at themselves in the mirror. It must be. I don't know how anybody could want to be what they are, but they're born into it. It's generational, very, very much of it is generational. Just like the Bush family, they're another branch of the Illuminati, so basically, but then there's one more you need to watch that really will show the heat wave, because some people actually still are actually still buying the propaganda that we're going into an ice age. I can't get over it. We're not going into an ice age. If you want to see the proof, you get it from Dane Wigington, from his program today. But the best one to watch came out about a day ago from Skywatch Media News. Okay, Skywatch Media News. That's the name of their YouTube channel, and just watch it. He'll show you the charts. This guy's great. He'll show you the charts of record temperatures in the UK, and basically all of Europe and Scandinavia, Mexico, California, Canada, you name it. 90 degrees today in the Arctic. 90 degrees in the Arctic today. Record temperatures all over. Even Death Valley has record temperatures of like 126 degrees. Okay, and Africa as well, 126. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, the propaganda machine is great, and the problem is, the internet's beautiful because there's all kinds of information, but what is true and what is not? That's the problem most people have. They don't know how to sift through the book, the BS and the truth. It's a science. It's a science to be able to sift through a propaganda machine, and that's the only reason they allow for this free exchange on the internet, is because, well, if they can't censor us right now, and they're doing it, they're working on it, then the only other way is to throw out a bunch of disinformation. That's how they do it. The Goebbels propaganda machine. I gotta close my window here, so stand by. I'm just gonna real quick put the music on while I close my curtains. I'll be right with you. Glad you tuned in to therealpublicradio.net, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we're in this together, aren't we? If you weren't there, I wouldn't be here. In more ways than one, I think. I like looking at the sunset, and then I got to close these things in the evening, because I know that bogeyman's trying to look in right across the street. They put their agent right across the street. Right across the street. He sits on the porch all day long, just in my face, having a party, smoking a joint, nonstop chain smoking. I think he's got a $600 a month smoking habit, and he has no life, and therefore, he's probably one of those sexually abused, victims, and then they hire him to sit right on the porch, right across the street from me directly. Okay, and so. What a wonderful world, Mrs. Smith, huh? And well, thank you, Lynn. I'm staying strong. Yeah, I'm good to go anytime. We all knew we were here temporarily anyway, but I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for them because I have the hope of eternal life in me, and they don't. And I know that when they're coming after me, my Father, your Father, our Father, is going for them, and the judgment is on them. So they're pretty sick, and their time of their day of reckoning is here. Well, their brotherhood destroyed our ozone layer, so I think they're getting everything they deserve, and all their family, who they pretend to love because they have no love in them, ultimately, of course, will all be suffering, and they were the ones who took glory in it with their Masonic secret handshake club. They wage all revolutions. Well, aren't they proud of that, huh? They wage all revolutions. Say you want to have a revolution. If you got a great life history, or a word that they've killed us with, or comment, question, you're always welcome to call in. It's 608-566-7295. 608-566-7295. And if my music is too loud right now, I'd like to know it. I'm going to bump it down a little bit. I don't have a way to gauge it other than I've got my scroll bar there, and I've not reviewed the last several programs. I'm kind of like on tired of listening to myself, I think. You know what I mean? But I love to hear from you. Okay, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being there. And so I want to do a review. Let's see. Should I do the words that kill first? I think I will. The piracy of words, because I'm going to go into the Real Da Vinci Code etymological dictionary and do a splice out of here where I posted a few of my movie reviews and the words. and then a couple dealing with music, a couple clips real quick dealing with music, and then into mind control. I was watching a program before my program tonight called what is it called? Where is it? That's it? No, that's not it. Huh? Boy, just when I got too many things open. That's my problem here. Oh, okay, there it is. This is where it is. Okay, what happened on there? Okay, here it is. This, I want you to know the name of it in case you want to watch it. It is really, really good. Okay, this may be the best YouTube presentation on how mind control works in 1 hour. You can be watching this. It's a 1 hour 22 seconds. MK Ultra, MK hyphen Ultra, MK hyphen Ultra documentary colon techniques apostrophe or comma, excuse me, techniques, comma, celebrities, and that's an ampersand, and more apostrophe. Okay, MK Ultra documentary, techniques, celebrities, and more. And they really show you how they do it here. I've been studying, mind control for about 25 years, close to 30 years. I've had a couple girlfriends that were victims of that, the mind control, trauma-based mind control. Actually, one of them bit my arm. Actually, the first one, because I didn't know any of this stuff, and I was well, without getting into story, but I volunteered at a woman's shelter. Let me put it this way: I volunteered at a woman's shelter after my divorce for my own therapy. To volunteer to help other people to forget about my, my own misery. And I met a gal there and fell in love with her. Love on sight type of thing. When you're lonely. And yeah, and that was an interesting ride. It turns out she was a victim out of West Virginia, the mind control state out of West Virginia, and so I fell in love and went for about a year through this odyssey of somebody with multiple personalities. Boy, you want to talk about an interesting experience. And then she one day I come home from work and she's spackled every little pinhole in the house. Every little pinhole. Why are you doing that? Well, they could be looking at me through there. Oh, okay. 2 in the morning, she's painting the bathroom. What are you doing? Painting the bathroom. Well, why? Well, I just needed something to do. Oh, okay. Wow. And sometimes she would pass out. It was really amazing to not know about it and to be seeing it. I had no experience, and I wish I did because I could have possibly done a better job and helped somebody that I cared about. But basically, that's when I moved up to East Texas because I just had to get away from the conflict of this relationship that was like a roller coaster. So and not normal, not natural. So I was unable to help somebody, and I felt really bad about it. But then I learned the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey used to say, and ultimately interviewed over 50 people who were targeted and victims of mind control, all different kinds of stories. Some knew why they were being targeted, others didn't, and so yeah, it's an amazing world that is filled. There's like 2 million people approximate that are under direct targeting or mind control, and then basically everybody else is under some type of mind control to some degree, And so in the words that kill, real quick before we go to the real Da Vinci Code, we left off on guilty. So actually, guilty doesn't mean what we think it means. What you can hear in the word guilty, the word guild, and guild means to make something. If you have a guild, you're making something. And Ninja saying, Desert, I just want to say I never get sick of listening to your voice. Okay, well, thank you very much, Ninja. I've been listening to myself a lot longer than you have. Okay, so that's my point. So guilt is guild. And so therefore in other words, to say that you're guilty, it actually doesn't mean that you've done something wrong. What it actually means is you were there, a part of something that was initiated. You know, whether it was an automobile accident or, you know, and so it's one of those trick words again. I haven't read the definition yet, and I wrote this like 6 years ago, so let's see what I said. Guilty. 1, don't worry, you will be. Okay. 2, uh, until proven or paid off, innocent. 3, it is, you can see I was very sarcastic at this period of my life after I lost my apartment. 3, it is a prosecutorial railroad system where the judge, the Yudkai, is presiding. That's presiding, okay? And the prosecutor is pro the security. He's looking to get that birth certificate on Wall Street. Slave. Yeah, the birth certificate is the security. Streamlined to get you on Wall Street, the wall of the slaves. That's where they used to sell the slaves, on the wall. In New York, not down south, but in New York. They blamed the South on, you know, having slavery, and they're bringing them right there into New York, right? And they get your birth certificate on Wall Street. They get you in prison as the surety to make good on that commercial instrument, that script. And they ask you, would you like to represent yourself? That is actually represent yourself. Represent yourself as a fiction, as a slave, as a surety for that security birth certificate. While they sip their pina coladas at the 18th hole at the end of the day and having a party on you, ladies and gentlemen. See, you are guilty because you have been involved in the crime itself from day one and keeping it alive while you remain statutorily and legally dead. So welcome to the Grave Club. They put us in the grave as soon as we came into the world. Okay, this is an interesting one. Oh, here's the name of the hangover pill. Okay, how they like to have fun with us, right? It's called RU21, the hangover pill, RU21. And then I say, see abortion pill. That's called RU486. You know, 86 means to throw something in the trash, to 86 something. So the abortion pill is called RU486. Throw the baby away, right? Very, very cool. They've got a couple of them that are like that. Another one is escaping me right now. And then harmony. Did I miss something here? I did. I missed actually the new alphabet H. Okay, what's H all about here? One, the levy, or the Levi. The H is the bridge, the symbol of the earth. 2, symbolically, number 8, the number of return. 3, symbolically, the breath of the great Father of light and creation, with a he, a secret vowel from deep within. That's the letter H. It's a secret vowel, just like the R and the L. Okay? Try it. There's no restriction, okay? Okay, so harmony, that sounds like a nice word, right? Harmony, we all want harmony. 1, do harm, make money. Oh, okay. The corporate occult dream. Yeah, that's the corporate occultic dream. Do harm and make money. What a country. That's that used to be Yada. Oh no, plural. Yakov Smirnoff used to say, "What a countries." You know, the duality. 2, that was last century, wasn't it? Yeah. 2, the New World Order code word, harmony. The power, but harmony is a code word. Actually, I'm seeing it right now, and it's 3 words. If you write it down, you'll see what I'm saying. The H is the word the AR means power, and then you see money. So literally, harmony means in the code the power of money. There's your harmony. Isn't that what they all want? The funny money, feel powerful, buy the car, the big mansion. There's your harmony, the big money, the power of money. Wow. Have and to hold, a security interest in property. See marriage. And then I'll just let's see. I'll end it on this one here. Hello. Oh no. Here's before that one. It's have and to hold. to have and to hold. That's a security interest in property. See marriage. And then hello, which is an interesting word because it literally means it's a true hell. Yeah, that's right. You hear the word hell right there, right? O means it is true and perfect. So it is a perfect and true hell. That's what you say every time you answer the phone. Hey, it's a perfect and true hell. Can I help you? You know, hello, hell. Do you see the word hell? Isn't that an interesting word? Yeah, I'm telling you. Or maybe it means it's a true grave, because hell means grave. But, oh boy, get me off this planet, please. I won't be sorry at all. Now, let me put my note here, and you know what your problem is. You never call in, and you got to stop that. Okay, we're here. You've got something. You've got something you want to share. So hope one day you'll decide to call in. You'll get the nerve up, and come on down. Love to hear from you. Got friends from all over the world, and that's a very, very cool experience to see all of you interacting on the chat. I never had that experience before. It was always I never knew who was listening in. I was just talking to a microphone, and now I get to see a small group of wonderful friends coming on, and we get to have a real-time exchange. So that's a pretty profound thing that I enjoy. Okay, and so we're in the Real Da Vinci Code etymological dictionary, and we're on the move, on the movies, ladies and gentlemen. And let me get a little more light. Hope you're all doing okay out there. I know our friends are always having something going on in their lives, and like Lynn, her brother-in-law, she texted me today and said her brother-in-law has passed, and so may he rest in peace, and the great spirit of life shine down upon him. And you would call, but you can't. Okay, not a problem. Not a problem. And okay, the movies. This is. I wish I had a couple more of these books. I got only one copy left. I did a prototype of the Real Da Vinci Code. Got a hard copy here, but it's the only one I've got. I found out after I did a 300-page book that just to print 10 copies would cost $400, basically $40 a book when you do a short run, and so literally to do 100 of them or 500 of them or 1,000, it would be an arm and a leg. So I couldn't even, after I produced the book, I can't even afford to publish it. It's rather ironic. But I got the PDF, and anybody who would like a copy, you can get a copy for any size donation, or if you don't have the funny money, just let me know and I'll get you a copy by email anyway. All right. And if you want to make a donation for that, or the Book of Wisdom by Joseph of Arimathea, the uncle of Yeshua, or the sample of the original gospel with the latest draft of the dictionary, any size donation, just go to therealpublicradio.net, therealpublicradio.net, and there's a PayPal button there. And if anybody can't get to that website, I'd like to know about it, because a friend in Europe, I can't remember what country, tried to go to therealpublicradio.net, and they couldn't get there. So I want to know if you can't get there. I know GoDaddy was offering me a special thing that costs $150 a month in order to upgrade the website with their new security features and all this stuff. So they said ultimately, people might not be able to go to the website without that. So something else I can't afford, and so all of a sudden, people can't go to the website. I guess that's where we're going. So, movie words. Movie words. Oh, and by the way, Morpheus, we saw him in the, in the Matrix, right? And I've got that definition on the facing page here. I just saw it. And so, in case you didn't know, Morpheus is the Greek god of dreams. That's who Morpheus is. The Greek god of dreams, illusions, and nightmares. Morpheus, or Morpheus, shaper of dreams, also known as the shaper of dreams. In Greek mythology, is the god of dreams, leader of the one Eroi, one Oneroi. I'm not sure what that word is. And then Morpheus has the ability to take any human form and appear in dreams. His true semblance is that of a winged demon, imagery shared with many of his siblings. And two, in the movie The Matrix, Morpheus had the keys and the codes, and everyone was in want of this to go back home. Oh, just like Dorothy. See Cypher, De Jure, Neo, The Matrix, Trinity, and White Rabbit. And remember, they kept asking Neo, "Are you the one? Are you the one?" Hey, Sherry, good to have you. Okay. So notice that Neo, when you rearrange the letters, you get one, O-N-E. And so they kept saying, "Are you the one?" And so Neo, switch out the letters. There's the code. He was the one by virtue of his name, by Neo itself. Neo means new. Okay. So, but anyway, going into the movies, I'm just looking at these other words here. Okay. So, and the mystery of deceptions, movie words, the mystery of deceptions. See the pattern. So Batman, what's really amazing is this word Batman. You would never guess where it goes back, but you know what I've been talking about, that the people that are running the world, who will never know their names or see their faces, and I keep claiming that they actually go back into the ancient Aryan Brahmin priesthood and Hindustan, into India. And so where does the word Batman come from? Actually, I got it in the book here. Let me read it. Let me go find it. This is perfect. Glad I caught that. Batman, B-A-T. Batman was the big thing in the movie, and Bruce Wayne, right? And so here's Batman. Let's see here. Hang on. So Batman, a noun. See the first element of Bat Horse. 1. Originally one who looked after the baggage of pack animals. So he would have been like the first police officer, right? He had a baton. He could hit the animals in the caravan, or he can hit anybody else that's not around, that shouldn't be around, when he's doing his little deal, because, this thing about occultism and, the secrets is part of that element. So now generally he's an officer's servant, okay? And see abate, agent, agentor, bat money, baton, bacteria, and bata, and battle, and bot. So bat money, listen to this, bat money, the first element is probably quite distinct from that in the preceding. See anagram for, oh, that's the wrong column here. Oh, okay, I see here. Let me try this again. The first element is probably quite distinct from that in preceding word, and comes from Hindu, Bhat, B-H-A-T. So B-A-T is shorter, abbreviated, and it's B-H-A-T, Bhat. And it means the advances made to plowmen without interest by extension, extra allowances made to officers on special grounds. The Anglo-Indian form is bata, a field allowance made, which means special payment, made to an officer on active service. So the Batman actually got a special payment, and he was the one who looked after the caravan when it came back and took back the secret, the secret stuff, right? They didn't want anyone else to know about it. So the Batman go empty those bags out, or grab the bags, take them wherever they needed them. So he was the special agent. So the Batman was the very first officially a special agent, okay? And boy, do I know about those agents, okay? And so there we find then the word baton. That's what they're hitting us over the head with. The Batman is hitting us with the baton. That means the Batman are the police today, you see? It goes way back, ladies and gentlemen, thousands of years. Baton, from the French baton, or stick or staff. Old French baston, etymology unknown, but I just gave it to you. Goes all the way back to India. 1. A staff or office or symbol or rank, e.g. a field marshal's baton. Love to feel that one over my head. 2. Short, thick staff, also called a truncon, used by the police for defense and attack. 3. A slender staff used by a conductor of an orchestra. Yeah, for beating time. Yeah, he's got the baton for beating time. 4. In heraldry, in ordinary, in the form of a bend. See also with its ends cut off and 1/4 of a breath. So, and then we got the word battle. Literally the bat of the L, meaning the enlightened bat. Yeah, because they're going. Hopefully, they're not enlightened. They're stupid. Or bat of the night. Okay. So anyway, I thought that was interesting to realize I had that definition. I was astonished the first time I saw it in my Wiles dictionary from 1933. And so Batman. Bat means criminal and sinner. And Bruce Wayne is in reality, it's a code word. Bruce is a code word, and it means Baruch, which then literally, and Wayne is vain because there's no W. It's originally the V. So it's Baruch Vain. Baruch Vain. But Bruce Wayne is Baruch Vain, which means literally born of the blessed line. So we know in the movie, Bruce Wayne, right? He was born into a wealthy family, had the big castle, and right, and he had all the special perks and privileges going for him. And so he was of the blessed line, which implies then the Illuminatis, right? The Illuminatis. And so I guess that's all I have on that one. Huh? Okay, there's certainly more in the movie. Notice, okay, I'll just make one point about that. In the movie, what happens to Bruce Wayne after his family he grows up, he gets disenchanted with his life, and he goes and gets lost in the world. And then next thing we find out, he's in China, and then this guy becomes his sponsor. And where does he go? Into the north country of India, into Tibet, and he learns all the secret arts. And what has been my claim? That everything came out of Hindustan, out of northern India, and the Tibetan mountains, right? And that's where they take us in the movie Batman. If you look at the patterns, you're going to find out Desert was right, okay? And so now we can talk about Indiana Jones on the road. Where was Indiana Jones going? He was on the road to India. That's why he's called Indiana. And there's a story behind Indiana I'll tell one day. That'll be a good one for symbolism, okay? Because I'll take you to the Indianapolis 500 and show you how that symbolism has everything to do with the game that's being played in our world, okay? I'm writing down here. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll probably do that tomorrow. So Indiana Jones on the road to India. Indiana Jones is in reality Indiana, and Jones is Y1S. I'm looking at the code here that I'm writing because I hadn't looked at it in a long time, which means India comes down. Oh yeah, Indiana. Na means, you've heard me talk about the code. Na means that which came down. So Indiana means the India that came down. And then the Y1S is the code that means the one mother light of the sun. Okay, the one mother light of the sun, and that's what India represents as Adonai. Adonai backwards is India, and that's how they replaced the name of Yahweh. And they gave us Adonai. Then you read it backwards and you get India. It's the anagram. You see, so their code is in our face, but we can never read it because we have been enslaved, ladies and gentlemen, and have been duped and stooped and pooped on, and therefore we'll never get the picture unless you stay tuned to the Forbidden History series here. So next up is Star Trek. Okay, this is a good one because I as I was preparing tonight, I saw a couple more things in it about the columns and the towers. Okay, and I just saw it for the first time. I saw part of it, but I didn't see it all until I was decided I wanted to do this tonight. So Star Trek is Star Tracks, the Star Tracks. Okay, not that there's any significance to it, but that's the code, the Star Tracks, and maybe it implies, the going down the old trail type of a thing with tracks. But Ahura, so we have people's names in there, right? So we got Ahura, and remember she was the communicator, and she had was a black lady, right? And so she's called Ahura, and there we have Ahura is in reality Ahura Mazda. Ahura Mazda out of Persia, was the one who represented the light of the sun. And so in divinity of the old Iranian religion and also Babylon. So when we find Ahura that she's black, then she's actually representing the black sun. In other words, an eclipse, because the sun is yellow, right? Yellow, white, or red, depending upon when you're looking at it. But so Ahura is part of the code, because the just like the cross also means the black sun. It doesn't mean light. The cross is not a symbol of light. It is a symbol of the black sun. That's why the occultists like the moon, and they hate the light. They love the night. Okay. So Bones, remember the doctor was called Bones in Star Trek, and so in reality, he's the doctor of common sense with the cure. Okay. Not much to be read into that, but well, Bones actually, if I realize that the B is symbolic of that which is first, and then after that you get ONES, Bones literally means the first ones, and that's what these illuminated are claiming to be. The Aryan fallen watchers are claiming to be the first ones, and so that's the code of Bones. Okay, James T. Kirk. James is Yaakov, and it means seed of light, and T is the symbol of the cross, the symbol of the black sun again. And then Kirk is the occultic word for church, but church is not our original word, and it means Kirk, and Kirk is circle, and Kirk-eye, meaning the eye of the circle, and is in reality, then James means the seed of light. That's what the Aryans claim to be, the seed of light, while they're the mother sons of darkness. The Freemasons claim the light, but they are the mother sons of darkness. That's what Masonic means. And then the T is the burning tree of the night, and represents the dark sun. And Kirk is the mother church of the round table and the bridge. And then what I was realizing was with, these two, how the Star Trek ship has the two engines. It's got one long engine on the right, one long engine on the left, right? And those are the power boosters, right? Well, when I just saw that before the program, I realized that those two symbols actually represent the proverbial columns that we've been talking about, that were revealed in the translation of Farrar Fenton, the columns where they sacrificed people and passed their children through the fire between the columns, and that's what the Twin Towers represented when they came down. The ritual sacrifice that had been going on for thousands of years, where they were killing people in between the columns. And so all of a sudden, for the first time now that I've been making that connection, I realized that on the ship of the Enterprise, good name, right? Enterprise. Those columns, those booster engines represent the towers, the twin towers, the twin columns, the symbols of the sun and the moon, the symbols of creation. The sun and the moon hold everything up. That's why they're columns, because sun and moon hold everything up, and they're round in origin, right? And the column is round. So there you go. And so on the then you have Kirk is on the deck, the captain is on the deck, but deck is Dick, because Dick has to do with creation. Deck is Dick for creation, as in dictionary, diction, and also the slang, for the male phallus, and therefore that round disc, then the deck is the symbol of the earth. You got the right engine, left engine, sun and moon, and then the earth is in the middle. There's your tree, your triad, your trident. Okay, sun, earth, and moon. All in the Starship Enterprise. Starship Enterprise, right? They're on having an enterprise, aren't they? And claiming the prize. And Scotty, then he represents the Scottish Rite, of the Freemasons, right? And what happens when Kirk gets in trouble? He says, "Scotty, beam me up, get me out of here." And he says, "Aye, aye, Captain, I'm beaming you up right now. Give me the grand handling sign. What's the handshake?" And then the next thing you know, Scott, the Scottish Rite, come to his rescue, and doesn't matter if he committed murder or if he raped babies or anything else, they're going to save him. They're going to save him because that's their brotherhood, the Scottish Rite. I don't have to tell you why. That's why they named a roll of toilet paper after him, right? Or that they got the Scotch tape. It's the transparent tape, right? The Scotch tape, because they're transparent, because they're, you never know. It might be the UPS driver. It might be the postmaster, or you never know who that secret agent is, because they got him in every little department, in the department store as well. They spy on me when I go to the department store. Sandra, good to have you. And got up too early, then he went back to bed, huh? That's okay. It's all being recorded. And so then we got Spock. The last one for Star Trek is Spock, and so Spock in reality is Spoke, or the spark of the oracle. And so so Spark represented the wisdom, right? He represents the and also you can hear the word spark in there, so it has to do with light, the light of illumination. There you go. So Spock represents the illumination. He's got the pointy ears, right, and the pointy eyebrows, and he's always waxing philosophical, and never emotional, okay, so now we're in Superman, and we've done this one before, but I'll do a quick review on it, and just take a sip of my drink here. Okay, so Superman represents the Suppermen, the Jesuits, the Suppermen, the ones who on late Saturday night, they have an occult ritual where they sacrifice babies, and drink blood, and probably take drugs and everything else, and have a party, then and sing songs. Of course, let's not forget, they probably sing songs too. They're just a good old boy club singing songs. And so they're the Suppermen, because after their occult ritual on Saturday in the dark, then they come out Sunday with their white robes on. They take off their black robes, put on their white robes, and then they're holding up that round wafer up in the air, the symbol of Lucifer, of the moon, of the darkness, and then give all the slaves their little wafer and put it on their tongue in the occultic ritual. Yeah, we're talking about the Vatican, of course. And the Catholic, that means the tongue of the cat, the Catholic, tongue. So the tongue of the cat, and the cat is the leopard. So in Superman they have sup with the host every Sunday, right? And so Cape, Superman wears the cape. And so if you look in Black's Law Dictionary, then you find the word capious. And so he's so powerful that, capious literally means the power that takes. They are the power that takes, capious. Okay? And so that's what they do, right? They take our lives. They take our land. They enslaved all the American natives, right? And killed as many as they wanted, and enslaved the rest, and raped a bunch of them. And up in British Columbia, I interviewed Chief Red Jacket about a decade ago, and Chief Red Jacket survived the trauma that happened to the native peoples up in British Columbia. Literally, the RCMP landed on their shores with gunboats, took all the children from the mothers and fathers at the point of a gun, put them into the Catholic Church, Requiem, or wherever they put them, and then they, over a process of about 100 years, they literally murdered approximately 150,000 boys and girls. The story that he told was so horrific, that these nuns would kick them down the stairs, push them out the windows, and Chief Red Jacket, he was a royal chief, and they definitely wanted him killed, and they tied him to a chain out in a field one night, hoping that the wild a leopard, I don't know, what kind of cougar, whatever cat was out there in the woods, and he said the cat came around him and did circles around him for about an hour, and he said, but yet that cat had more respect for him than the priest did, and he wouldn't touch him. So literally they tried to get him eaten alive, and so that's the wonderful Catholicism that we're talking about here in the aura of the Jesuit. They're on a military mission. When they set up their missions all around the world, like in California, they got the mission San Juan, and in San Jose there was the mission up there. Mission is a military code word. It means they're conquering the world. Okay, get the picture. So Clark Kent, as I had told you, Clark is cloak. It's a cover, and Kent the T is silent because that's the law of the T, and you get Ken, which means lawfulness, and so Clark Kent literally means the cloak of lawfulness. Okay, they're pretending to be loving, right? Jesus loves you, and at the same time, they're raping our babies, and they're having ritual blood sacrifices of children and women, and having a party on us. Isn't that a wonderful planet we have, ladies and gentlemen? And then Jimmy Olsen, remember Jimmy? He's the one who could put the fix in. Okay, who do you need me to go rub out? Yeah, I know I kind of look stupid and goofy, but just tell me who you need me to rub out. And he puts the fix in, Jimmy. Then Lois Lane. Actually, Lois is two words. It's low-ish. Ish means woman, and low means means true. So lowish means the true woman, and lane is code for line. And so Lois Lane means the true woman's line. And the true woman's line, who is the true woman? The true woman is Lucifer. That's the true woman. That's their woman, Lucy. Okay, and then Perry White. In reality, Perry means to make fat, and white is the Veta. It means the way of creation, as if to say the way of a star, the brightness of a star. Hello, Lou. Good to have you. And so Perry White literally means to be made fat by the brightness of the planet, and in the sense that it is a child of the sun. And then what did he always say? Great Caesar's ghost. And well, Caesar's ghost, that would be Roman law, right? And what did they do in 1933? About the same time they came out with the comic book Superman, we went under Roman civil law. Great Caesar's ghost. With the bankruptcy, when we were declared the enemy. Continuing. Movies with symbolism. Go see Avatar. Avatar is the original word for prophet, but it's abbreviated. It's actually navigator, which is navigator. Constantine, boy, if you ever want to see one with symbols in it, go see the movie Constantine. I should probably do a review on that. I've still got that copy. Exorcist, The Matrix, Silence of the Lambs. They're heavy in symbolism. By the time I was doing a review on the Silence of the Lambs, I was sick. That one was so sick, and I just I stopped reviewing movies after that, because people go there to be entertained and think it's cool and everything, and they got no idea. They're telling you how they hate your guts and they want to drink your blood and kill you. Yeah, they're coming for me, ladies and gentlemen, but they're coming for you too. And so we have to hear this stuff, because this is the reality, not the fiction we see on television or the or the NBC, ABC news every day, propaganda, um, just like in the Soviet Union. Well, we're just a better version of what the Soviet Union was. That's all. We're just a better version. And let's see what we got here. So before I get into the songs real quick, the music end of this, mind control, I just want to, the next definition is an interesting one. It's munda, M-U-N-D-A, munda, or Mundians, the Mundians, and that literally means enlightened, um, and what they originally called in certain parts of the East as Christians. Some of them were called Mundians, and then I note says, see Adam, Christian, key of knowledge, and also moon. So it's not, in my view, the original per se is just one aspect of what one particular group called themselves. Okay, and so now on to music, because the symbolism again is profound, and so the British intelligence, MI6, MI5, and the unseen hand, they needed to help kickstart the rock and roll industry, and so they had to pick a group that they could really help out, and and take rock and roll and psychedelic themes to the next level. And so they found four guys, and they were called the Beatles. And so the Beatles, it goes back then to Mitzrayim, to Egypt, because the beetle is the sacred scarab, right? They were the sacred scarab, and what does the beetle do? He walks on water. Walks on water. He can walk on water just like the Mashiach, just like Christ. And so that figures then why apparently they had to kill Paul McCartney, because he wasn't, I guess, getting along. For some reason, he wasn't fitting the program, and so they already had a double that they could fill in for him. And Paul McCartney has an accident, and they replace him with a guy that looks just like him, plays a left-handed bass guitar, and it's business as usual. And then they use the theme of, Paul died 28 if, right, like on at the Abbey Road album, and they got Paul walking barefoot, because when you're buried in a coffin, you're barefoot, and they got John Lennon looking like the preacher, and then George Harrison dressed in blue jeans looking like the gravedigger, right? And they're trying to say that didn't mean anything, like, okay, give me a break. So let's see, I have several, okay, I did that already. So one more thing on the music, and then we'll see where we go from here. But so I want, okay, everybody got a pen and paper, okay, and and I'm going to see if anybody can figure out this code. You should be able to now. You've been listening to me now for about how long, right? And so about a month. Okay, that's long enough. You've been hearing it. You got an earful, right? So tell me the code. I want you to read the code, and the code is Beyonce, 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 Beyonce. It's two words, and you only have to change one vowel, and you get a whole new meaning in the word. You split the word apart, change one vowel, tell me what it is. Tell me what it is, okay? Two words, change one vowel. You should be able to see it. Just split it apart. And if you can type it in the chat. I'd like to see it. Okay, the clock is ticking. You have 10 more seconds. Otherwise, I'll give it to you. Nobody's coming up with it. I can't believe it. You want me to give it to you always, okay? All right, here we go. Beyonce is, nobody's typing. I'm going to give you a clue, all right? I'm going to give you a clue. The second word is once. ONCE. Can anybody give me the first word by changing one vowel? Come on, group participation here, okay? I don't want to do this all by myself. All right. I guess now nobody wanted to call in. Now nobody wants to. What's this? Robbie Williams, Open My Eyes in the 90s. A music clip with him tearing his skin off, and the people eat it. Oh, that's a wonderful thing to watch. Okay. Okay. So Beyonce, come on, is Boy Once. Boy Once. Can't you see it? And so this means that Beyonce is actually a trans. What do they call it? Trans. When you're male female. What? Transsexual. I forgot. Transgender. Okay, transgender. I guess it is, right? Uh, yes. Can't find a pen when you need one. You don't have to have a pen. Oh, okay. To look at your paper. Yeah. So Beyonce. Yeah. So what? Right in the name. Boy Once. They're telling you, but you don't get the picture. And just like Michelle Obama is really Michael Obama. Same deal. Nothing new under the sun. This has been going on for a long time, and they just never let us in on it. So there you go. There you go. And so we're gonna take a musical break. I'm gonna rest my voice. Hermaphrodite. Yeah, that's another name for it. Sherry, that's correct. Hermaphrodite is a male female. That's probably the most correct term to use, actually. So thank you. So I'm gonna go to a musical interlude. Cool down my voice, and then when I come back, we'll find out where we're going to go next, okay? Where nobody else wants to go, but we go right here because we are the realpublicradio.net, Free America Radio Network. What they didn't want you to know, but we tell right here because somebody's got to do it, and I'm just the glutton for punishment to do it. What else do I have to do, ladies and gentlemen, right? Sherry knows my story. She knows I'm a survivor. And so are you, ladies and gentlemen. So are you. So stand by for the broadcast. We'll be right back. Well, I guess Bianca could be another word very similar. Sandra, true, and Ninja, if you're gonna call in, no better time than now because we're winding down the program, and I'm gonna do a three in one here, a book review, symbolism, and the duality revealed in patterns and symbols and nature. Okay, so I had purchased this book just the other day, a small one I found on Amazon, came out of England, and the uh, the book is called "The First Two Chapters of Genesis, Considered as a Basis of Science." And this was a speech, a short lecture that was given in 1938, and he received the gunning. I guess he went gunning prize. Read before the Victoria Institute, Sir Ambrose Fleming, president of the chair, at the meeting held in London. And since I'm doing a transliteration on Genesis, I thought I'd get this very inexpensive used book, old book, and so I'm reading it, and so I had an interesting small paragraph here that I thought I'd share with you, because you've been hearing me talk about the microcosm is as the macrocosm, and the macrocosm is like the microcosm, right? That which is least like is like that which is the greatest. That which is the greatest is like that which is the least. And so I was astounded to hear this guy saying something that was the proverbial truth, that he was seeing something that is almost like taboo to talk about, to connect, like the book of Genesis somehow with nature, or the evolutionary process of regeneration within all things in life. So anyway, this goes like this. This is titled "The Unity of the Source of the Universe." There you go. The unity of the source of the universe. Well, if we're talking about source in creation, that is that which is primary in creation, what would we talk about but the atom and the sun? Those would be the two primary sources, the smallest and the greatest, right? The smallest and the greatest, that which you can't even see with your eyes, and it's right in front of you, and you're breathing it in, the atom, the atom. So by means of spectrum analysis, a new metal was discovered in the sun before its presence had ever been detected on Earth. It was called helium, from the Greek word for sun. That was in 1868. It was not until 1895, however, that helium was found in the Earth. So that would have been, 30 years later, basically. After it was first discovered. It was discovered in the sun, and then ultimately it was discovered on Earth. Where was it discovered? In the air. That's where it was discovered. I used to deliver chemicals to Air Products in Texas when I did chemical transport, and when I went to Air Products one day and made delivery, I said to the guy, let me speculate on where you get your product from. You're called Air Products, right? And I said, so if I were to guess, I would guess that you suck out the air. You suck the air, and after you suck the air, you split all the particles within the air into different volumes, right? And he said, that's it. Yeah, we get all of the product that we sell out of the air. They suck the air, split the helium over there, and oxygen over there, and hydrogen over there, and this is how they do it, right out the air. So talk about mining for free, right? So anyway, so it was not till 1995 until, however, helium was found on Earth. Of the 90 or more chemical elements known to exist in the Earth, 57 have already been located in the sun's spectrum. Actually, all of them would be there, but this is still, the 1800s. Located in the sun. Yeah. So there is no substantial reason to suppose that the other elements are absent. Further, there are many stars whose spectra are exact counterparts of the spectrum of the sun, identical. And here's the kicker. This is what I underlined. Modern physics, moreover, has shown that an atom is a complicated structure which closely resembles a miniature solar system. You see? And this has been my point all along, that the macrocosm is like the micro, and the micro is like the macro. And so when we got the sun and the sun and the moon, going around, or excuse me, the earth and the moon going around the sun, is a giant electronic expression of what the atom is doing with the neutron, right, and the proton, or however that goes. I'm not into physics, so, but you know what I'm saying. It's identical. One is going around it, and it's really far away. The neutron and the electron are far from each other, and yet they stay together. And they're so small. They're so small. That literally you could line up 1,000,000 of them and it would be the width of a hair. They're that small. Continuing, the nucleus of the atom corresponds to the sun, and the electrons which move in it in orbits around it correspond to the planets, like Mars and Jupiter, in their revolutions around their central sphere, the sun. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is really fantastic. This is the only time I've read something like this, and I knew this was going to be good to get, and this was fantastic. So for anybody that is new on here tonight that didn't hear the other program I did the other day, I'll just add this as a little added footnote. But if you took a glass of 8 ounces of water, what is that water? It is nothing but atoms, right? It's collected atoms put together that create the chemical components, hydrogen, oxygen, right? They're all combined with the atoms. And so literally, and I saw this on a documentary about atomic stuff, right? And so the guy said, if you took an 8-ounce glass of water, there would be more atoms within the 8-ounce glasses of water than there would be glasses of water within all of the oceans of the world combined. Imagine that, huh? That there would be more atoms in one glass of water than glasses of water in all the oceans of the world combined. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's it, Sherry. We've got to see the great mystery, because everything is speaking. There's symbolic expression and everything, and it's speaking to us. And this is what I've been doing, of course, on my presentations. And one of the best primers is, of course, posted the first series I did called Uncommon Awareness, number 1 through 10. And that would be something good. We started this particular series on June 21st, and it's the premiere edition was June 21st. So you could go back and follow if you hadn't been listening to all of them, and it will, because I unloaded for 2 weeks. I unloaded, okay, all the big stuff that I've been carrying with me that I've discovered, and I just wanted to get it out, so I unloaded for 2 weeks, starting June 21st. So go back and check that out if you want to be what's the word, filled in on a lot that they've stolen from us, how we've been ripped off. So Ninja, you got let's see, equivalent to the size of a football field. What's that? We had a couple of days ago cyclones. Okay, yeah, sorry. And we got so many fires over there here in America right now going on, and in Scandinavia as well. So Ninja, if you're going to call in, this will be a good time, because I'm winding it down here, and I just tomorrow I may be going into the 3 chapters of Genesis, and since I don't have my word processing capability right now, my stuff's on my other computer, so I can get a techie that can help me. I'm going to just do the oral. I'll read from Farrar Fenton, and I will transliterate. I'll show you the corruptions within the scriptures on how they twisted the words, and how they purposely mistranslated, our scriptures so that we would never get the picture of creation, the origin of creation, and how it really occurred. And it's a mind blower. So I'll do the oral version. Okay, that'll be tomorrow morning. I'm getting motivated here to do that, and it's what they didn't want you to know that I'm happy to tell right here for you. And the distance. The distance with the atoms. Okay, but I still didn't get the picture there. So maybe you should call in and explain it. You said you were going to call in, or what? Australia too far all of a sudden, or what's going on? Anybody else? I'd love to hear from you. Um, we're in a real fix here in our world, and it's rather novel to have most all of my listening friends right now being sky watchers, and what I think we really should be looking at, because we know we won't miss what's coming in the sky, but just like Shannon, who goes by Sundog in DC, shared with us yesterday, was those plants that are dying out there on the street. She saw that tree, that small tree, totally burned up, and then I was sharing with her, the trees outside my apartment. So if anybody is seeing, the vegetation that's dying, just like the grass outside is burning up, literally, and we're not having a drought, and the grass is burning up. So if you've got anything you notice, happening in that regard, I think it would be really great to, put that on your channel, as well as the sky, and then, and then come on here and tell us so that everybody can go to your channel and then, take a look at these pictures. I think we need to start taking pictures of the vegetation as well as the sky, because the one thing we can't see is the UVB and the UVC radiation that is killing us. We're in a microwave oven, and the only way we're going to see the evidence of it is in the plants. That's where we can prove it to our neighbors and to our families that we care about. Okay, so think strategically like that, because it's hard to get them to look up in the sky and to get the picture. But if they see the plants, they'll get it. Durango's gone? What do you mean? I did 10 days in La Plata County Jail in Durango, Colorado. I love Durango. And I lived out below Pagosa Springs there in southern Colorado. And what do you mean? I know the forests were burning all around there, but it didn't burn down the town now, Lou, did it? Yeah, you've been noticing it, Sherry. Absolutely. Good. Yeah. So we need to make a record of this, because collectively, we can compare photos, and it would be a good way to share with our families. Okay. So, okay. So, all right, I'll tell you what, I'm going to do one quick review here in Philo, because as you know, I was indexing Philo, and because I'm a literary glutton for punishment, and I just didn't get that project finished, and I wanted to just see, and this is on creation in the Great Book of Philo, and I'm just looking at my highlights and my underlines and my notes, and see if I can share any of these particular stuff with you. So the incorporeal world was then already completed, having its seat in the divine reason, and the world perceptible by external senses was made on the model of it. Okay, so let me read that again. So the incorporeal, that which is invisible, the incorporeal world then was already completed. So in other words, the design of creation, the entire design of creation, what did it say in our scriptures? It was finished from the very beginning. It was finished even before he got started bringing forth physical creation. The entire structure of our universe was already preconceived and designed by Yahweh, the one who made all things, right? And having its seat in the divine reason, and therefore the world perceptible by the external senses, and it was and was made on that model. Okay, so it was pre-designed, and then it was brought forth by the vibration of the will of Yahweh, saying, let it come forth, let there be light. And then there was light, and there is light, and then out of the sun comes the planets and the moons, and they circle around the mother star, the electron and the neutron. And so I'll continue reading here a little more in the first portion of it. Okay, being also the most excellent of all made by the Creator, was the Son. And here they made it a code word and put the word heaven. They didn't want us to but you can see it. Listen to it again. And the first portion of this creation, being also the most excellent of all things that were made by the Creator, was the blank. Because here it's a code word, heaven, but it was the Son. In the beginning is the light. And so there's how they got the code word right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's how they've tricked us. Heaven is a code and typically means sky, cosmos, or the sun. And this is what the Balai Suds did to us with all of our scriptures. And this is why, people, when they look at the scriptures, they think, something's not right. They know something's not right with it, Okay, next show. Okay, very good, Ninja. And so anyway, this is the problem that we have, ladies and gentlemen. That's why Yeshua is using me to reveal the code. It's in everything, in the movies, right? In the movies, in the music, in our scriptures, in the legal sleaze, in the it's everywhere. You got to read the symbol. The symbol is the most powerful form of communication, symbolism, right? So, and I'll just move my note over here. And one more bit on creation here. But in the first creation of the universe, as I have already stated, Yahweh produced the whole race of trees out of the earth in full perfection. I'd say so. Trees are beautiful, having their fruit not incomplete, but in a state of entire ripeness to be ready for the immediate and undelayed use and enjoyment of by the animals and his creation, which were about immediately to be born. Okay, and accordingly, he commanded the earth to produce things, and the earth, as though it had for a long time been pregnant and travailing, produced every sort of seed, every sort of tree, and also of the fruit in unspeakable abundance. And not only were these produced fruits to be food for living animals, but enough also to serve as preparation for the continuous production of similar fruits hereafter. In other words, that which evolved from there, covering the substances of consisting of seed, in which are the principles of all plants, undistinguishable and invisible, but destined hereafter to become manifest and visible in the periodical maturity of the fruit. For Yahweh thought it fit to endow nature with a long duration, making the races that he was creating immortal and giving them a participation in eternity. That's our part he's talking about here. And on which account he led on and hurried the beginning towards the end and caused the end to turn backwards to the beginning, making a full cycle. That which is first like that which is last, that which is last like that which is first. For from plants come fruit, and the end might come from the beginning, and from the fruit. Well, just that point right there, that at the end comes the fruit. Well, if we talk about people in creation, what Yeshua was trying to make was a perfect people that would follow him, and so what we bring forth last is our good fruit. That's what we do last. That's what comes last on the tree at the end of the cycle. As the end might come from the beginning, and from the fruit comes the seed, and again contains the plant within itself, so that a fresh beginning may come from the end again. Okay, so I'll post that right there, and I think we're good. And Crystal, how you doing? We're just wrapping it up here. You have anything you want to share? Otherwise, you're going to have to go back and listen to the recording now. I like the way you just have your eyes right over that circle. So well, anyway, we're going to and so nobody's calling in, and that's the whole problem with you. You know, you don't call in, and that's what we need here. I'm trying to get a caller generated program. Oh, okay. So Sandra, you're going to call in soon, one of these days, right? Okay, very good. And well, then I guess we've got a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm all talked out anyway. But I'm glad to be here with you, and able to share what has been important to me, and I've been studying all my life and trying to make sense out of it for my own eternal walk, and also trying to help help you on the journey as well. Sorry I came in late. I will listen later. Okay. Prayers for you all. Thank you, Crystal, so much. Another Sky Watcher. And so we're in tough times, ladies and gentlemen, and there are answers to our dilemma. Everything is as it should be when we know the truth. Remember, the true. Once you can begin to comprehend the true nature of things, then you can begin to comprehend that there's nothing more to complain about, because this was preordained. The darkness and the light. Everybody has a choice. But we can be set free, and we don't have to buy into the lies and their BS anymore. We can know the truth. And you know, as I've been saying, the best way to find the truth is to find all their lies. And that's the easy part, especially when you tune in right here, right? As you know, if you want to know the future, you just simply need to look for the forbidden history. I'm Desert Owl, thanking you for tuning in, and hope to see you tomorrow morning. We're here every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, every evening at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. It's what they didn't want you to know that we tell right here. And thank you, Sherry, for stopping by and tuning in. I hope you'll come back. Hi, Rhea. Good to have you. And we're just winding down here. Oh, you listened through, Rhea. Very good. Glad you did. And thank you, Ninja. Thank all of you. Peace and love and internal prosperity. The riches of heaven, that's the prosperity that we need. That which nobody can take away from us. I think everybody's smart here. We're all pulling it together. And good night, Crystal. I was so smart they couldn't keep me, could they, Sherry? They tried. They didn't know who they were messing with. Not me, but the one above. That's who they're messing with, the one above, because I've been serving him all my life. In spite of myself, actually. Good night, all.